So hello and welcome to another video, and where I want to show you my practice rig and how it changed over time. So let's begin with the easiest part, my practice guitar. I use basically every guitar that I own and that isn't set up for studio whenever I want to. So this means I could change guitars maybe 3 times in a single practice session, or I play one guitar for a month straight. As for this video, I chose my Ibanez Universe Multicolor because why not? And it has the freshest strings. So guitar really doesn't matter. I think I have to be able to play on all my instruments equally. That's why I try to use them equally. So in the beginning I didn't use any amp at all, but that's really boring and you need lots of imaginations. And I have lots of imagination, but I don't want to use it always. So for the most of the time, previously I used either plugins or XFX via my PC, which means via my studio monitors, or I used headphones, or I used one of my tube amps into an actual 2x12 cabinet. And to start with the last one, those tube amps are quite loud. So some are okay, you get some okay sound out of it with really low volume, and I tend to practice and listen to music with a fairly low volume, but it's still too loud. So headphones is cool, and I still do this, but whenever I have some kind of backing track or whatever, I have to connect the headphones to the PC as well as to my gear. For instance, when I play with the XFX and haven't connected it to the PC. And well, it's not as universal as I would like it to be. So first solution, plugins or whatever that goes into my studio monitors, that's cool, and I do this when I have my PC put on, but I don't have my PC always on. So I wanted a quicker solution with just basically one click and you're ready to go. So that's why I bought a little practice amp. And you might call this heresy to put expensive guitar into a cheap amp, but I don't care as long as it works. And therefore I bought the PV Rage. And it's a red stripe PV Rage, and I bought it specifically, I searched for the red stripe, and why I'll show you in a minute. And well, I've thrown an SM57 in front of the PV, but I haven't tweaked the mic position. I basically just put it there and that's it. So yeah, here's my clean sound. That's really cool, and with my switching options, every single one of my guitars has a pickup selector, so I get multiple sounds, and I basically opt for well, either the neck pickup or some kind of single coil for a clean sound, and this it is. And that's cool. Whenever I want to practice something clean, I use this. But I want to play distorted, and the PV has a distortion channel, but I'll show you why I don't use it this often right now. So the sound lacks of gain, I need more gain, and this actually isn't a problem because I own 1 or 2 distortion pedals that I could put in front of it, but the distorted channel has another problem. Let me tweak the EQ and then you should hear it. So the sound is totally usable, but it has this very harsh frequency. I don't know which frequency it is, but it's so harsh, it's really annoying, and it sounds really cheap and digital, and I don't like it. But I was clever, and the PV Rage actually has a CD input, and that's a specialty of the red stripe. The teal stripe version doesn't have one. You can basically use the CD input the same way as you would an FX return. And that's what I do. I connect a bunch of pedals to the CD input. And which pedals I'll show you now, but I have to do some tweaking and rearranging first. So now I've connected my guitar to my pedals that I show you in a minute, and those the output of the pedals goes into the CD input. And the only problem with this setup is that you don't have any volume control on the PV. The PV is now simply an amplifier and a cap. So you need some kind of level control with your pedals. And you know I have lots of pedals, and that's why I use them. And I basically use 3 pedals and swap them occasionally, but I'll show you the combination that I use most, and I'll tell you why I use them most. As for a preamp pedal, I use the Metal Zone MT2W, and I tried different preamps, and I think the Metal Zone is, well, one of the best, and I use it the most. And here you can see those are actually my practice settings. So as you can see, I've cranked the highs, didn't do much with the mids, and only have a bit of distortion, and this is basically the sound. And the biggest advantage here is that I almost completely got rid of this really annoying frequency. If you haven't heard the frequency, that's cool, but I hear it with the amp and I don't hear it with the pedals, so that works for me. After the Metal Zone, I've included my custom JD Music Labs graphic EQ. That's basically an expanded Mesa Boogie 5-band EQ, just to have more control. And well, those are my actually settings from the last session that I had, and well, let's hear what I did. Okay, I used it as a volume control so that I could crank the volume on the Metal Zone. So got rid of some mids and increased the presence a bit. And well, those 2 pedals are every time in the single chain. I might throw in a delay between those 2 whenever I feel like playing lead guitar, but for most of the time I have another pedal in front of the MT2, and well, this wouldn't be a complete video without a chainsaw sound. So my go-to chainsaw is the Angry Sweet version 2 because of 2 simple reasons. First, it has a blend control and I want a blend in my practice sound, and second, it's the smallest pedal that I have, and I normally place my pedals on top of the PV and there isn't much space, so sadly I can't put my left hand rev deluxe on there, and therefore I use the Angry Sweet. Occasionally I switch it with some other chainsaw whenever I want to have a different flavor or just want to have fun, but most of the time it's the Angry Sweet. Whenever I don't want to play chainsaw, I use some boost pedal. Most of the time it's the Boss Overdrive SD1, a super overdrive. So here's my chainsaw sound, and those are my typical chainsaw settings, although I have to adjust the blend. Another very good thing about this combination is that it doesn't make any big noise at all, so I can just turn back the volume and do my stuff, whatever songwriting or so, and tabbing out stuff, and I don't have to always activate, deactivate the pedals. As you can see, I dialed back a bit of the highs, dialed in some mids, and activated the depth control, and that's because the last settings were when I did some playing along to a backing track or so, and this is a more standalone sound. It's a bit fuller, like it more when it is this way. So that's my everyday practice rig. And now let me know, what's your practice rig? Maybe I can copy it, although your practice rig is MT15 into 4x12, then I won't replicate it. Just too loud. Let me know down in the comment section. If you want to support this channel, check out the links in the description. And with this all said, thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, may the force be with you, and have a nice day.